How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
Switch to Verizon Business and get more from your internet without paying more for your internet. Get LTE Business Internet starting at $39 a month when paired with select business mobile plans. That's unlimited data, and with it, unlimited possibilities. Start saving today with Verizon Business, ranked #1 in small business internet customer satisfaction by J.D. Power. Starting price for 25 megabits per second LTE internet plan with smartphone plan savings, plus taxes, fees, and economic adjustment charge. Terms apply. For J.D. Power 2024 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Welcome to another Finely Edged production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So welcome everybody to the National Counties Cricket Show, and joining me today is a player and another skipper from a county. I'm going to say something quite openly straight away. I think this county have done really well this year, and there hasn't been a single standout. They've been a proper sum of all their parts and done really well across the board. And I hope you will agree with me on that one. But welcome Luke Webb from Dorset. How are we doing, mate?
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, nicely put. Sum of all parts is a nice way to be described. So yeah, nice to have a chat.
Yeah, I think I was looking at the stats before we came on, and I thought any county that hasn't got a single batter in the top 20 run scorers so far this season across all formats, got the top bowler, to be fair, which we'll come to in a minute. But you think you're scoring runs still. You know, you're all doing your little bit. You're all chipping in along the way, aren't you? Is that how the season's felt so far as a team?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't given it massive thought because we tend to try and keep quite a settled side as much as possible. We'll back the players that we go with and give them a proper run at it. Mm-hmm. But certainly across the 4 group games. And then the 2 2020 days we've had so far, there's been contributions all across the team. I think everyone's probably contributed to winning a game at some point individually, and that's a good place to be as a cricket team. Mm-hmm. So yeah, full of confidence at this point in the season, with everyone in a good place. Yeah,
and I'm sure you won't mind me saying that, you know, regarded around the country, Dorset would not be put up there in that top echelons of look at the huge amount of players they've got to play with. They can do this. They can choose where they pick. You guys have to be very clever with where you pick your players from to a certain extent sometimes. And a lot of your players do a lot of travelling, a hell of a lot of travelling. You know, I'm thinking of Joe Carson in particular, for example. He does a lot of travelling to go and play for you. I think that's a benefit, though, because it means they really want to play for Dorset, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly. We have to be resourceful, but I think we've been a force, especially in white ball cricket, for a while. We've reached plentiful finals, semi-finals, quarter-finals. The only thing really missing for us has been a trophy, but it fills me with pride every time we reach another kind of game in the spotlight, which is happening again on Sunday, because it just gives an opportunity for Dorset to showcase what we do, the fantastic players we've got, the ability we've got, and the team success that will come if we keep getting to these positions. But yeah, certainly down on the south coast, there's some travelling. We've been to Cheshire already this season. We're up there again for the 3 days also.
Yeah, you don't mind the 3 day. It's that long trek on the Saturday night all the way to Cheshire. Correct me if I'm wrong, when you went to Cheshire, you were already basically through though, weren't you? So you're okay with that. But it's a long trek up there and trek back, isn't it?
Yeah, we'd qualified, but we were competing for top spot still, which was important because it gave us a home quarter-final, I think, which we like playing at Wimborne Cricket Club, and we beat Buckinghamshire in the quarter-final.
Yeah.
But yeah, part of being a national counties cricketer.
Absolutely. And we were talking just off air before we started, and let's just cover last weekend. You got your classic weekend of playing club cricket on a Saturday for most of the players, and then Sunday, 2 T20s. You had that trek, because it is a trek anyway you go to in Devon. You had to trek down to Sandford in Devon, and came away with 1-1, which is a sort of no one wins, no one loses sort of weekend for you guys. How do you feel the T20's gone so far?
Yeah, we're 2 from 4 with both days being 1-1. So yeah, we were discussing that happens quite often. 2020 can obviously be dominated by 1 or 2 individual performances on the day. I think across the 2 days we've played really well. Both the defeats have been close ones. In fact, the first day we won off the last ball and then lost in the last over. And yesterday we won our first one comfortably, and then it was alive going into the last ball again. So it's very close cricket matches. It's fantastic for the competition. As long as we keep doing our thing, you stay in the hunt for the qualification spots. But yeah, still 4 games to play, and no, pretty happy with how we've gone.
And do you think the change of the scheduling this year has had an input into what the scores have been so far when it comes to the T20?
Yeah, so I was overwhelmingly in support of it. I think playing 50 over cricket first makes complete sense. It gets our players a chance to get into the season a bit more with a bit more time. Obviously the wickets are hopefully a bit better in the heart of the summer, which is more conducive to 2020 cricket. I'd like to think, going into the the second half of the group stages, you'll see some really good 2020 cricket. Yesterday we played best part of 190 and we fell short just off the last ball, and that's what people want to see. That's 2020 cricket at its best. Low scoring games are fascinating, but we want our competition to be showcasing bowlers and batters. And games can always be low scoring. We want those high scores. So yeah, I think the change of schedule has worked really well.
Yeah, and I know that talking to Logs before the season, that was one of the things he was quite confident of, that it would work for the NCCA. Obviously, the weather has helped massively in terms of making sure that we have had those tracks out there. That's going to help towards that. And I think you're right, when you go to the next couple of rounds of the T20 and into the Super 12s, you're going to have the best tracks on you to really go big. And we should start to see those 180s, even 200s. Yeah,
and that's what you want. We talk about obviously the competition itself and teams wanting to win trophies, but the NCCA, as we know, is also there to showcase and promote players. So we want to give people the best opportunity to do that. And I think it's working really well.
Absolutely. You talk about showcasing players. Is there anyone from your own bunch or anybody that you've seen that you've played against so far this season in particular, you've gone, actually, there's someone to keep an eye on that maybe someone's not spotted before?
I'll be honest with you, the challengers are doing that job now. So I think if you're performing at a high level consistently, you will get put put into that environment and have the opportunity to succeed. I could talk about plenty of our lads, who I think have performed really well and can progress into that. So I'm not going to pick out individuals, but I just urge everyone to keep an eye on the challenger stuff. And it's the usual suspects, isn't it? With national counties cricket, they're the best players for a reason, producing with the bat and ball. I'm super confident in the side we've got, and some of the performances speak for themselves.
Well, there's one name I am going to pick out very quickly, though, from your bunch, and he's the top wicket taker in the whole of the NCCA this year. And from what I can see, unless I'm wrong, it's the first year he's played NCCA, and Joe Carson's travelling a long way to come and play for you guys, and he's been a bit of a revelation, hasn't he?
Yeah, so Joe's at Bournemouth University, just finished his first year, which is how he came onto our radar. Fantastically talented wicket-taking left-arm seamer, who's fitted into our squad and side absolutely fantastically. As I said, his record and how he's done so far speaks for itself. He took 5 wickets on debut. But he's an exciting cricketer, all three formats, and a really good guy that's super professional in the way he approached his cricket. We were really impressed the moment he joined up with our winter training, as to how he works hard and how he thinks about the game, which is probably his biggest strength. So really good to see him getting rewards, and I think he's got fantastic potential.
Yeah, and see, Joe's that classic for me where he's young, he's obviously fit and healthy and strong, and he's a fast left armer, as you say, but he's also capable of doing this massive travel with you guys at the moment, where he's down at Bournemouth University, but he's playing in the Essex League, and he's back and forth all over the bloody place, isn't he? And that strain's got to take its toll somewhere, but it doesn't look to be right now.
Yeah, I think he's obviously very, very passionate about his club side. Billericay, I think, got promoted last season, so he's continued there, which I think is fantastic. And it just, like you said at the top, goes to show how much he loved his cricket, and we're benefiting from that passion that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want to see, guys that are hungry to push themselves to play the best standard of cricket they can. And as I said, I hope it pays off for Joe as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. I'm sure he'll go on and achieve good things.
Absolutely. There's nothing more exciting. I was at a club championship game yesterday, but there's nothing more exciting than a fast left-arm bowler. We just love them, don't we?
Yeah, I think they add variety to an attack. I think every attack you want all bases covered, and left-arm seam just adds that variation, being able to swing it back to the right-hander, go across, swing it away from a left-hander, and then come over and round the wicket. You want a left-armer in your side, and we've certainly benefited from that. We've had that in the past with Bradley Curry, for example, and it's working really well for us.
And he's not shy with the bat either, Joe, as well, which that goes hand in hand. If he's not shy with the bat, he's going to work in the T20s for you. But like you say, he can play all formats. He's playing time games in Essex right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think batting depth is something that's served us well this season. At times we've had significant contributions from numbers 6 to 9, really. We've had 100 scored from number 6. We've had match winning contributions from number 7 and 8. So yeah, Joe's been a part of that, but plenty of other lads have contributed from that kind of engine room down the order, which is good to see. Yeah,
and that engine room, as you say, down the order, it couldn't have got any better for you in the National Counties Trophy group, where, get this right now, you won the first 3 and then lost the one that was, the big road trip to Cheshire. But you just ground it out in those 3, didn't you? All quite comfortably, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think we played really well. We hit the ground running in Wales on a pitch that required some adapting quite quickly, that I was really proud of, the way we went straight into the competition and were able to adapt with both bat and ball. And we just continued that momentum throughout. I think even in Cheshire, it was a Didsbury's an absolutely beautiful cricket wicket. A beautiful place to bat, short boundaries, fast outfield, and Cheshire are an immensely strong outfit. But even then, chasing in the heat after an awful long drive and turning up at kind of 1 a.m, we put on a show, and Alex Eklund scored a sparkling 100, and you kind of look at it and think, well, actually, if there was another 30, 40 in the top order there, we're not far away. So we did great stuff all throughout that group stage. Really proud of the players and what they've done to deserve the privilege of playing in a semi-final.
Yeah, I think the highlight for me, for you guys in the group was, you beat Wales, as you say, game 1. I was then at the Wales versus Hertfordshire game the following week, when Wales beat Hertfordshire in a real tight encounter, and Hertfordshire looked a really good side. They'd done Cheshire for 68 in the first round of games, but they came down to you on Bank Holiday Monday, and you didn't blow them away, but you bowled them all out, and had a really comfortable day against them on Bank Holiday Monday, really, didn't you?
Yeah, Hertfordshire are a good side. They beat us last year in the group stage, so we knew what we were up against. Good cricketers throughout. Mm-hmm. Again, we maybe benefited from having the Sunday off. That was our kind of bye, so we went into the Monday really fresh, whereas they may have played Sunday, Monday, which is quite tough. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was another good victory. I think all-round performance, like you say, didn't absolutely blow the game apart, but were consistent with bat and ball. I mean, you're testing my memory now. It's a little while ago. We must have run maybe 40, 50 runs, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe more. So yeah, that was good because Hertfordshire showed us last year how dangerous they can be. They're a very good outfit.
Yeah, and I think one of the themes that I've seen throughout your games is, as you said, that top five has regularly got runs. It might be 20, it might be 30. Someone goes on to get 50, 60, 70, 80, or a big one. But that top five's been scoring runs and putting the opposition under pressure from the start, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And if your batters are contributing, you're going to win. You're going to put yourself in a position to win games of cricket. Mm-hmm. As I said, we have the privilege of playing at Wimborne Cricket Club for our home games, which is a lovely place to bat with a beautiful outfield. The team there do a fantastic job, which certainly helped us. But yeah, consistency in backing the same players, investing in players when they're young and seeing them come through has kind of been what we've tried to achieve for a number of years now. And the benefit of that is numbers being put on a scorecard and wins. So it's going well.
And then you moved on to that quarter-final against Bucks. You welcome down to your place, which is always what you're going to want to do down to the Lees. Again, the top five did the job. The bowlers came out and did the job top. It's the opening bowlers taking the wickets. You can't ask for more as a skipper, can you?
Exactly. I think every opposition you'll play will have 2 or 3 men that you can identify as danger players. Mm-hmm. And if they come off on their day, they're gonna go off some way to winning games of cricket. And we've done a really good job this season of kind of getting amongst that and taking early wickets, taking wickets in the power play, which helps. And that helped at Bucks as well. We got off to a really good start with the ball defending. Quite a good total.
Yeah.
But even then, Buckinghamshire have depth throughout. Their skipper, Kavesi's a fantastic player that everyone knows, and he played beautifully that day as well. But no, we were excellent. Another good all-round performance to put us into the next round.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the calibre of side that you've got up against there, the way you've played in my opinion, some of the best sides in the country when it comes to the group and then in the quarter-final. To get to that stage again and be in that semi-final with a chance for a trip up to Chester Boughton Hall for the final, you can't ask for more from the lads in the first place, can you?
Yeah, it puts you in a good position. You've got confidence that you've beaten good sides. I say this to everyone I speak to about national counties. To be honest, you don't really have easy days anymore. Every side is strong in their own right. Of course, you have a hierarchy with teams in and out of form, and teams can click in a season. But generally, you have to play pretty well to win games of national counties cricket. Every opposition comes with their own challenges, but certainly this season, the sides we've played have been good. But I think that's just the trend of the competition. If you spoke to teams in other groups, other parts of the country, they probably feel the same way.
I would totally agree, and you only have to look across the results across all the groups in the T20 and the Trophy, and everybody's been beating everybody. There's been no runaway successes apart from the side that you come up against on Sunday in the semi-final. Berkshire have looked bloody strong. There's no other way to put it, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I think Berkshire will always be strong. The nature of a good setup, obviously a large county in their history. They're a fantastic flag bearer for national counties cricket.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're getting to the final stages of any competition, you've got to beat the best teams, whether that's Berkshire or other opposition. I know that the final was Cheshire reached the final against Norfolk last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Norfolk went on to win that. So every season is different. But yeah, we've faced Berkshire a lot, especially in knockout games recently. And it's just another fantastic opportunity for our players to put on a show. And like you said, it'd be nice to get that trip up to Chester. Yeah,
and you must have been looking at the scores from the T20 at the weekend and thinking, I'm glad Dan Lincoln's got his ton out the way like yesterday. Maybe he's not going to do the same next weekend. And they've got so much depth in the Berkshire side, as you say, but you guys have got depth right across the batting and the bowling lineup.
Absolutely, I'm not too concerned about thinking about what the other team have got at this stage. We do our analysis as we do every game, but I'm so confident in Dorset's players and the side we've got, and I'm really excited to see what they can achieve in a game that there'll be a lot of eyes on. It's just a great opportunity for our talented group to put their hand up, show the country how good they are, and have a really good day.
Yeah, totally. And anyone who's going to get to a final, as you say, you're going to have to beat the best sides, full stop. And Berkshire, they didn't get to the final last year because they got beat by Cheshire. You've already come against them this year. There has been, in my opinion, one or two changes around one or two squads this year. Cheshire have had quite a changed squad compared to one or two others, but yours seems quite consistent, apart from one or two, like Joe coming in.
Yeah, we keep it as consistent as possible. As I said, we benefited from bringing Joe through university in the winter. I think most of the other names in our side are fairly familiar and have been part of the setup for a little while. It's fantastic to see Dorset cricketers doing their thing. We obviously benefit from a really good relationship with Hampshire. We were able to bring Felix in for the quarter final.
Yeah,
Joseph Eklund's been in our side all season, really. And Finn Gordon as well, who's a young player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we benefit from that. But similarly, you've got the homegrown Dorset boys that come through the age groups and are succeeding, and that's what it's all about, blending that kind of homegrown feel with some smart recruitment and smart additions that we feel can support the squad and benefit the players around them.
Yeah, and how close is that link with Hampshire Academy and what goes on there? Because they won the Premier League last year, as we know, in the Southern Premier League, and an average age of well under 20. There's no two ways about it. To have that strength in depth that you can lean on, that must be a great sort of feeling for you as a captain.
Yeah, I mean the list of players that have gone through that pathway is large now. I benefited it for myself playing Dorset youth cricket and then going to Hampshire and coming back to Dorset and have had the privilege to captain Dorset for a long time now. So I know how beneficial that is. Hampshire, it's a fantastic county, great setup there, and we're lucky to have those players come back and continue to represent Dorset. But similarly, there's players that we don't see because they kick on and achieve fantastic things in the first class game. And you're seeing someone like Eddie Jack, who's now doing it international honours with the England Lions. So again, Dorset are here to win matches, win national counties matches, but there's also that side of things. And when you see those cricketers doing their thing, it's brilliant for Dorset cricket.
And you've been through now, what is it, 8-9 weeks of slog, I call it. The Saturday cricket, Sunday cricket, Saturday cricket, Sunday cricket, and then the drive home and some very late drives back to your place. How much do you look forward to the Red Bull when actually, if you go on the road, you're actually going to settle down and just take a little bit of a break in the evening rather than that big drive? That must make a big difference in terms of your planning and execution of what you're going to do.
Yeah, I love the Red Bull format personally. Like we mentioned when we were catching up before, the two 2020s in a day is challenging physically, mentally, across everything it can test you as a cricketer. It does. Red Bull certainly gives you a bit more breathing space, but with that comes other challenges, being able to develop plans over a longer period of time. Personally, I can't wait for it. In the heat of summer, good wickets, getting out there with your teammates and trying to compete over 3 days is fantastic, and it's a privilege to play those games. So it's my favourite format, always has been, and I can't wait for that to start. But yeah, a bit more white ball before we get the whites back on.
Anybody who's heard me say this before, and I drone on about it time and time again, is it doesn't matter how many of these top Premier League players and national counties players I talk to, those 3 days, that Red Bull cricket still stands above the white ball. And it just, I was talking to Rhys Lewis last week, and he can't wait for the 3. You don't get any younger than Rhys Lewis, and he can't wait for that Red Ball in those 3 days. What is it about that Red Ball that just makes us want to spend that time together and do it?
Yeah, I think it's our Test match cricket, really, isn't it? And I've got fantastic memories, really. I remember making my debut, I think I was 16, up in Shropshire, and that Red Bull's been, for me, just such a central part of what I've done for Dorset, the great memories I've had. Spending that time with your teammates, you kind of make great friends as well. And that's what cricket's all about, really. I think being able to showcase your skills over a longer period of time it's the same conversation that gets had in professional cricket, isn't it? Test match cricket, v 2020. Everything's fantastic in its own right, but yeah, the greatest test of the game will always be in the longer format, and that's relative to what we do in national counties as well, I think.
Yeah, and I find it fascinating that 20 plus years of T20 and all of these inverted commas youngsters who've come through with watching white ball cricket, and they still want to play this long form cricket and really, but knuckle down and really take their time and build an innings like we watch on the TV, and we've all grown up watching them on the TV, rather than just slap bang wallop, which can be the T20.
Yeah, and I think fundamentals of cricket apply, don't they? I think you're seeing the most successful white ball players have pretty sound fundamentals and basics. So if it's working at the top level at the professional game, it will certainly work at our level. And I think you'll notice the players that do play all three formats, there's consistency in how well they do. I think the players that do well in 2020 are going to be able to transfer that across because they've got a base of skills that are successful. If they do then go up a level, it's about how can you take that on and contribute that in the level above. But certainly at national counties, you want to see those players dominating all three formats really, because they're good cricketers and should be able to play white ball, red ball, whatever it is.
Absolutely. And yourself this season, how are you feeling about your own form this season, Luke?
Yeah, I for Dorset, I've been opening the batting and we've been going okay in the first 10. Haven't gone on to get a big score I'd like, but I think that's probably been part of our success. We've had different contributions in each game. Again, I tend to try and deliver the message to the boys that you take each game as it comes. Every game we play is an opportunity to do something fantastic. So you can't worry about what's gone. The main thing for me is leading Dorset, is being captain of that team. It fills me with an enormous amount of pride. And if I can firstly get the absolute best out of the players that I'm working with, and then also contribute myself with the bat, then I'll be in a good place. Yeah,
and for yourself personally, NCCA must have been a bit of a sort of a win-win at the moment, because your club's not had the best of starts to the Premier League season either, has it?
Yeah, Bournemouth are, we're down the bottom of the league at the moment. I think second or third bottom, but that suddenly can change awfully quickly. I've played in that league for a long time and seen swings happen all the time. So like you say with cricket, you go through a bad run, there's just another opportunity the next week to do something good. And especially with the nature of the time cricket, couple of wins sends you skyrocketing up the league because it's all done on average. So it's been a pretty disappointing start to the season for Bournemouth Cricket Club, but you've got to keep looking forward. There's enough good players there, and it's a good bunch. So I'm sure we'll pick that up. Yeah,
it's very similar to James Kettleborough when I was talking to him from Staffordshire last week. The club form doesn't necessarily reflect what happens with the county, and you can see that with a lot of players who might not do it on a Saturday, but they're still doing it on a bloody Sunday, because the levels are different, and sometimes it does take being dragged up by those better bowlers or a better pitch, doesn't it? Yeah, it's interesting because you've got to separate the two. If you have a good day Saturday, you can't then go into Sunday thinking you're a world beater and it's going to happen again. Similarly, if you're struggling on a Saturday and something's not quite gone your way, you have to draw a line underneath it. And that's part of all sport, isn't it? Move on to the next. Certainly as well, captaining the Dorset stuff on a Sunday, I need to make sure you go into those days with a completely clear head. You're not carrying any baggage from the day before. Yeah. And I feel like I've done that pretty well this season, because if you're losing, winning, you've got to approach each day as it comes as a new opportunity. Yeah, and I think one of the guys that I've been very fascinated by watching this season across NCCA, but also Premier League and county cricket, is Jake Lintott, who has shown that it doesn't matter which form of cricket it is, that mental side's got to be right in the first place. Yeah, Jake's know Jake well from playing with him for Dorset back in the day. Fantastic cricketer. He's a credit to the competition, to be fair, the amount of effort, or the amount he's given back and continued to come back and play for Wiltshire now. But
it's been really cool to see how well he's done. I remember how dedicated he was back in the Dorset days before he burst onto the professional scene. So good on him.
Yeah, and I think that's, it's a lovely way to come to the end of this chat. There's just so many of those dedicated players out there across the NWCA that I'm not going to say they go underneath the radar because they're on my bloody radar, but under a lot of people's radar, they don't see them. But if they could see what Joseph Eckland's been doing for Hampshire, but then he's coming back to play for Dorset and he's been playing club cricket, these guys really have to put the effort in to try to make their way through their career, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And if national counties continue to provide that platform for players coming back, I think that will benefit from it to make sure they're ticking over and getting cricket when they need it. But similarly, I think we can move past national counties being a platform now, because we know it is a platform. It's established. There's enough players, I think, that have gone on. The challenge now is how do we kind of accelerate that? How do we keep churning these players out? How do we keep promoting these players? And the team behind the scenes are doing a fantastic job and will continue to do so, because you've got some fantastically passionate and intelligent cricket people involved, as you know. So it's a good setup to be in. I'd love to be an 18, 19-year-old cricketer to come into the setup as it is now, because it's changed a lot and the opportunities are abundant.
Yeah, and we make this point week in, week out now. We definitely see, and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're looking at those second 11 games that are going around the country. It's like, oh, look who's playing here. And there's so many more of the lads from around the counties who are getting that shout at one or two of these first-class counties. I personally don't like calling them first-class counties because I actually see so much quality in the national counties. That is only going, it's accelerating massively. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah, of course, and I think we need to respect that there's still a massive step up in the standard, and the national county still will also serve its place as a competition in its own right, and it provides an awesome standard of cricket for people to go along and watch. But for those individuals that can progress further, that's really, really good. But for those players that do kind of find their level at national counties, it provides endless opportunity, chances to succeed, win trophies, get out there with your mates and play good cricket as well.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to end. Anybody who doesn't watch national counties, and obviously this podcast always goes on both the Premier League pod stream as well as the national counties one. If you're not watching any national counties cricket, we'd urge you to pick your local one. There are 20 of them. They're all around the country. You're probably within an hour of one without a shadow. Pick one, follow it. And I love saying this, 99% of the cricket's going to be free on a Sunday, and it's going to be absolute top quality. It's going to be up there with anything you're going to see first class as far as I'm concerned, Luke.
Yeah, absolutely. Come to Finch on Sunday with a load of Dorset flags, more than welcome.
Absolutely. Hey, have a good one at Finch at the weekend. We're looking at it very, very closely to see how it goes. And you never know, we might be seeing you up at Chester Boughton Hall in late July.
Thanks, mate. Hope so.
All the best, mate. Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NWCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get two select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.